And Breece Hall last year, 223 rush attempts, 994 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 76 receptions on 95 targets, 591 yards to the air, and 4 touchdowns. Thoughts on Breece Hall?
Smash, yes. There's really no one behind Breece Hall that I'm worried about. We've seen running backs be productive with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, so I'm not afraid of that. We might see some of those receptions drop down a little bit, right? Because you're not going to have check down Charlie all the time, dropping passes off to Breece Hall. But I think it also pushes the defense back. You're not going to have safety dropped into the box because you are going to have to worry about Aaron Rodgers and his ability to fit the football into extremely tight windows once he and his wide receivers get on the same page. So I think it's a mixed bag, but ultimately I think you get a very good product out of Breece Hall. Given a choice, I think I'd take Bijan over Breece, having both of them right there personally, but I'm not afraid of Breece Hall, right? Like if you're the again, if you're set on running back and the guy in front of you takes Bijan, I don't think you need to panic. Like I think Breece Hall is a perfectly fine player to take as the third running back off the board in the middle of the first round.
The only thing that I was slightly concerned about, and again, I think this offense looks completely different with Aaron Rodgers at the helm this year. If we can get more than 4 snaps out of him, but the thing that was concerning about Breece Hall is that while he was really very good towards the middle of their season, right? He kind of fell off in the fantasy playoff push portion, but then came back real strong for you in the playoffs. And that is a little concerning because again, the Jets this year, bye week of 12, they have a favorable, I would say, schedule between weeks 8 and 11. I think those are teams that where he could feast. But I think into the playoffs, I think he's got a pretty tough schedule there. I think into the playoffs. So week 13 against Seattle, week 14 at Miami, week 15 at Jacksonville, week 16 home against the Rams, and week 17 at Buffalo for your championship. So that's a little scary there. And I think that's why I'd rather have a Bijan Robinson than I would a Breece Hall.
Yeah, when you look at it, where Breece Hall got all the fantasy production that vaulted him up to his finish last season, primarily came from the passing work on that, right? Where it really led running backs out there as far as targets, receptions, overall yards. Like there's a lot to that. And again, I don't know that we're going to see Aaron Rodgers check the ball down to the point where we see Breece Hall lead running backs in targets out of this Jets backfield, right? Like, do I think that they'll be there? Yes. Do I think that they'll be probably more efficient? Yes. But if he goes down to 50 receptions instead of close to 80, that's going to put a kind of a huge impact. Now, where that looks into that as well is that Jets offensive line is not projecting to be overly great this season as well. So I think I'm back with I think I'm right there back with you, Kevin. That I'd rather take the Bijan Robinson call over Breece this season. But again, if Breece is sitting there, that's not a bad place to start my roster